Hey there. Sometimes I have a hard time getting that to flip over to see me. I'm Tracy Cotton with Morrow Insurance Agency. I hope that you're having a great morning so far. I wanted to jump on here, and now this time of day seems to be a good time for me to get on and hopefully catch some folks that have not really gotten their day started at work yet, because the gist of most of my good morning, how are you doing? Since I talk so much to small business owners, I know that this time of day is before they actually start having customers or they start, opening their stores and so forth. So I think that it's kind of an important thing to, oh, hey, Andrea, thanks so much for joining us. For those of you who might be catching this replay on YouTube, these are Periscopes, and so if I talk to people that you don't actually see any information about, it's because on YouTube it doesn't show all the different people checking in and maybe asking questions and so forth. So sorry about that, but that's just the way that it works. These replays are available on Morrow McDowell, the channel of YouTube, and we always just what we're trying to do here is answer some questions about insurance, specifically about small businesses and farms and how insurance pertains to them. So this morning's question is one that I get a lot from my small business owners. A lot of times small business owners have been just in business by themselves, strictly just them, for a while. Thank you so much for the hearts. And so they know about work comp insurance. They know that there's such a thing as workers' compensation insurance, but they don't really know if it pertains to them. And so I wanted to answer that a little bit today, talk to you a little bit about why you would need it, when you would need it, and so forth. The big answer, of course, is if you have enough employees, according to the state that you live in, that it is required, you got to get it. There's no question there. Or if you are a little contractor and you want to do a job for somebody and they're going to require you to have work comp, even if it's just you by yourself, then you have to have it. But what I really wanted to address is those people who are asking, why do I need or when do I need work comp? Yes, in each state it is different for the minimum of employees. Like in North Carolina, where I work, I'm in Marion, North Carolina, it's 3 employees, including the owner, if the owner's actually involved in the business. So if you've got an operator, somebody who's actually operating a coffee shop, hey, greetings to Russia. That's great. Good morning. If you've got a coffee shop and you run the coffee shop and you've got 2 part-timers, even part-time is considered employees. And so when you get to that 3rd employee, by state statutes, you have to have the insurance. Now, that can vary from state to state. And actually, they're even talking about it in North Carolina, changing that not to be 3. So anyway, but the big point being here, and Andrea says in Missouri is 5, is what she's pretty sure of. And I'm not surprised because, it really does vary. But here's my answer to that question is everybody who has an employee really needs to consider workers' compensation insurance. It's another expense that you have to worry about. It's something you need to be considering, though, because if that employee ends up getting injured while working for you, what do you want to happen? I mean, maybe they have their own medical insurance, but a lot of times if you're a small employer, you're not actually providing it. You don't even have to, even under Obamacare, unless you're a certain amount of employees. So you're not really worried about what they're doing with their health insurance. So what's going to happen if they actually get hurt? How do you estimate percentage annual profit of your business? And I really appreciate that question. I am actually not an expert in setting up businesses or finances and so forth. I really just strictly work on insurance. So I won't be able to answer some of those kind of questions. But if you do have any insurance questions, feel free to email me. And that's insurancewisetracy@gmail.com. And I'll address those in future Periscopes. But what I'm saying about the work comp, again, is something that I think that as an employer, if you're going to hire somebody, you don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to end up in trouble because they happen to work for you. You don't want them to end up being injured. But injuries do happen. It could be something as small as, somebody working in that coffee shop accidentally drops something and breaks it, and they cut themselves. Well, maybe you've got enough money in the bank that you could actually take care of them going to urgent care and getting some stitches. That may be in your, maybe already in your budget. So you're thinking that's why I don't need work comp, because I could just pay for it if they had to go and, and get something happen, something taken care of. What if something happens and it ends up getting infected? What if it ends up being something major? They get blood poisoning. You can't. Yes, exactly. Andrea says those claims can grow. And that's actually part of the point. Somebody just bumping their head, somebody just hurting their back slightly. I have clients, current clients, that have people who went out on work comp years ago that are still in the midst of work comp claims and can't work because of a back injury or a head injury. These were at offices. These weren't people up on ladders. These weren't people building things even. These were in offices. Well, that could bankrupt a business if you ended up being responsible for that. Having the work comp insurance gets you off the hook to an extent. It means that that company is going to go ahead and take care of everything. They're going to pay that person a percentage of their income. That's actually what they would be doing while they're out on work comp. Exactly. Thank you so much, Andrea. That is it. This is going to make sure that somebody else is taking care of that. That way you can keep on running your business. I mean, if you're having to worry about somebody being out with doctor bills and so forth and not actually able to even manage that kind of thing, having work comp is very important at that point. So talk to your insurance agent. They should know what your specific state guidelines are as to how many employees you should have. But what I'm kind of putting out to you is that even if you just have one employee, it is worth your time and effort to at least investigate what the cost would be. Hello, thank you so much for joining me in the hearts. I really do appreciate it. That's what I love being on Periscope for, because I get to see some interaction. I know people are listening. I wish that I knew Russian, but I don't know any Russian. I do good to speak English, actually. But I really do appreciate those of you who've tuned in. And I am going to talk more in future Periscopes about work comp insurance, but this is just one of those things that I wanted to just kind of get out there and address, that there is, a risk for small businesses in what can happen to your employees. And we will talk about that more at a future date. But that's really all that I wanted to talk to you about for now. I hope that you have a great Thursday. Again, if you have any questions on insurance, especially if it's on small business or farm insurance, feel free to email me. You have a great day too, Andrea. I really appreciate getting to see your smiling face on here today. And just, put that to me, insurancewisetracy@gmail.com. And I will look forward to seeing you on future Periscopes. I'm trying to get back to doing them every day. And morning seems to be working really well for me. I hope as small businesses. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that you have a great day. Take care.